Your LA Wakers are back for week 1 of the Banlist Battlers League, and we have a tough opponent to start with in Vepsis. His team is led by his first pick Rayquaza, but he also managed to pick up Iron Valiant and a Zamazenta Crown. The rest of his team is designed to support his top 3, with Mesprit and Healing Wish and Stealth Rock, Klefki for Spikes and Thunder Wave, Alomola for Wish and Flip Turn, Incineroar to take the psychic moves aimed at Iron Valiant and spread Intimidate, a Serena to rapid spin away hazards, and Muck to absorb Toxic Spikes. He has 2 Terra Captains, a Thundurus Therian, and a Rhydon. The hardest part about week 1 was figuring out which Pokemon I wanted to use because I'm so excited to use every Pokemon on my team. And if you're also excited about the Pokemon Draft League content, let me know by leaving a like and consider subscribing if you're new. For week 1, we're starting off with a lead Gliscor with Focus Sash and Hyper Cutter for Intimidate from Incineroar. I'm jolly natured to speed tie Rayquaza, but also outspeed Pokemon like Mesprit and can slow them down with Rock Tomb. But Gliscor's main role is to set up both Stealth Rock and Spikes for the team. Hyper Cutter allows me to ignore Intimidate from Incineroar, and U-Turn lets me get off a strong hit on Pokemon like Serena and Mesprit. With Spikes up, I can bring out my main hitter in Life Orb Mewtwo, which outspeeds my opponent's entire team. I went Psychic over Psy Strike for Alomola, and Earth Power can 2-hit KO both Zamazenta Crown and even a max special defense Incineroar. Last, I have Ice Beam to cleanly knock out Rayquaza, as well as a Terra Fly Thundurus Therian. And Recover can help me get HP back in front of passive Pokemon like Alomola. Swords Dance Extreme Speed Rayquaza can be a problem, which is why I have a Chalonberry Enamorous next, with Moonblast to take out Rayquaza and Earth Power to hit Klefki. Taunt allows me to stop my opponent from setting up a Wish with Alomola, or any setup moves in general from Mesprit. And Healing Wish allows me to support the rest of my members on my offensive team, maybe giving Mewtwo a second chance. I still don't feel 100% safe into Rayquaza, so I have Booster Energy Speed Iron Crown. I outspeed and check it with a Tachyon Cutter, but I also have the combination of Iron Defense and Calm Mind to boost my stored power. If Zamazenta Crown is weakened, this Pokemon has a huge chance to sweep. It also gives me a natural check to Iron Valiant. Next up, we have Dragon Dance Gouging Fire. With a booster energy and attack, I can knock out a Zamazenta with +1 Flare Blitz. But I'm also running Heat Crash since it's 120 base power versus the rest of the team. And Dragon Claw allows me to knock out Rayquaza. My Speed EVs allow me to outspeed Jolly Zamazenta Crown. And my HP EVs allow me to take a +2 Life Orb Extreme Speed from Rayquaza. My last pick is my Terra Captain Zarude, and this time I'll be going the Ghost Terra type. Not only does this allow me to spin block versus Serena, but I can also beat Iron Defense Body Press Zamazenta with the combination of Bulk Up and Drain Punch, which also allows me to deal with Incineroar. When I'm a Dark type, Klefki can't hit me with Prankster Thunder Wave, but when I transform it can, so I have Jungle Healing for the little bit of healing, but also the full heal on my status. And Terra Blast Ghost just gives me a solid way of hitting Iron Valiant, Mesprit, and Thundurus Therian in one. My attack EVs allow me to 2-hit KO Thundurus Therian. And with my HP, I can actually bulk up alongside a Dragon Ascent Rayquaza as long as I Terastallize and beat it 1v1. So that's my team for week 1 of the BBL Pokemon Draft League. Like I said before, if you enjoy the Draft League content, let me know. Consider subscribing as I upload these every single Sunday and will be for the next 9 weeks, at least. Also, check out my opponent Vepsis. He is a top battler for sure, and you definitely will enjoy the content if you love analytical stuff. Lastly, I want to give a big shout out to Emil, Tony Flagon, Owen, and Tone for all the help this week, as well as Gentleman Thomas for the Mewtwo image and Pedro for the awesome editing. I've held you up long enough, so let's get right into the battle. Week 1 of the BBL Pokemon Draft League. If you guys are excited, let me know, leave a like, sub to the channel. We got 9 weeks of content at the minimum. Very excited to use my team. Big shout out to Vepsis as well, so go ahead and check him out too. It's gonna be really fun. He has Terra Fly Thundurus. I have Terra Ghost Zarude. No Klefki, so that's nice. I do have Jungle Healing, so I can actually beat the... I guess if it's Darkest Lariat, that's a different thing. But I can actually beat Incineroar 1v1, I believe. Let's see how it goes. We have a league Gliscor, and I'm excited. So yeah, leave a like, consider subscribing. Let's go LA Wakers. And also, if you want to pick up my cherry apple flavor, feel free to. Code AIM30. I don't know if it's still 30% off, but it's hydration. If you use my code to get anything that's not hydration, that's caffeinated, 18+. But yeah, let's go. First game of the season. Just got back from a workout, shower, and I'm chilling. Ate some food, having a good time. This is one of the few times where I'm like here. All right, so it's Mesprit lead. Not too bad for me. We get to find out if it's Scarf or not. I do have the Focus Sash, so I'll live every hit. And I am just going to go right for the Stealth Rock here. Mesprit could easily have Thunder Wave or anything like that. I assume it's going to be some sort of Healing Wish support. I do want Rocks up for Rayquaza if it's not heavy duty boots. Same thing with Thundurus. He probably does have boots on a lot of Mons, but maybe not Val. And obviously Zamazenta Crown can't run boots. So this gives me some information right here. All right, Mesprit. What does it go for? Rocks, Ice Beam. Ice Beam. Do we see a freeze? Turn 1. Do we see a freeze? Turn 1. No freeze. Turn 1. All right. Spikes go up. Let's go. Rocks are going to be nice for chipping away at Mesprit. Hazards are really, really, really good into Za. Again, this is also just nice if it's SD Life Orb Rayquaza, which is what I wanted Rocks for. I mean, he could be Boots, he could be Scarf, anything like that. I just wanted to ensure Hazards. So I'm going to assume maybe Thunder Wave on this Mesprit as well. I'm like really offensive Gliscor, so Ice Beam was always taking me down in my Focus Sash there, no matter what. Maybe he might overpredict here too, and get, or not even overpredict necessarily, but just get up Hazards. I think we go Zarude after, right? Yeah, there's Stealth Rock. SR. I really, really, really like my Gouging Fire in this game. Do I want to break a potential Sash? No, I'd rather get up more Hazards for... Like, the second Spike is going to help out versus Zama. I like that a lot more. Getting it nice and low. Ice Beam knocks me out. Maybe he knocks off. Reveals... Yeah, it doesn't reveal anything else after. That's fair. I do want to become a Ghost type immediately with Zarude. I think that is the play. Just immediately become a Ghost type. I also threaten Incineroar. This should be nicknamed Cosmo. I will figure that out. I promise. But yeah, we're going to go right for bulk up here. Yeah, we're going right for bulk up. If he knocks me off, that's fine. Actually, Terra Blast Ghost is best. Terra Blast Ghost is best. Get as much damage on Mesprit as possible. He has 2 switch-ins to Mewtwo, and this is one of them. So I'm going to go right for the Terra Blast Ghost. It looks like he stayed in as well. Maybe goes for Thunder Wave. We'll see. Could see a U-turn, but becoming a Ghost type lets me deal with Za a little bit easier. And if Zarude weakens Incineroar, that opens up my, my what's it called? My other guy. My Iron Crown. My Carlos. All right, beautiful damage. He does go for Ice Beam. Freeze, no freeze? No freeze. Let's go. I mean, I like this. Do I want to bulk up once? No, I rather Incineroar come out if he really wants to. Yeah, okay, just give me Mesprit. That's fine. All right, so Mesprit goes down. He gets a little bit of information about my Zarude, obviously, but now I'm also a switch-in, rather. This is one of the easier Incineroar switch-ins on the team. And again, Earth Power is going to be really good into Za from Mewtwo. Rayquaza gets smoked as well. So we're okay. We're in okay position, I would say. Also, Zarude looks sick. First Terra of the season, man. Look at this guy. And it has a little cape, too. This is Zarude Dada. I like this. I'm hoping I'm recording. Okay, I'm recording. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have no idea who that is. That is Incineroar. As anticipated. I could see a parting shot come out. Knockoff is annoying. I think if I bulk up once, Incineroar doesn't beat me, unless it's Darkest Lair, like I said, so... Like, Incineroar's knockoff... +1. If it's not boosted... Like, I would assume it'd be, like, Spadef, right? So it does 35 to 45. I'm gonna bulk up once. He might parting shot as well, anticipating Gouging Fire to want to come out, so... I could have done this in front of Mesprit as well. But if he knocks, I get the Drain Punch damage off. He does go for knock, yep. Alright, 306 to 1 whatever. Drain will do a good chunk after. Yeah, Drain will do a good chunk after. So to max HP Incineroar, Neutral Drain does enough to put it in range of my... Neutral Drain does enough to put it in range of my Mewtwo. So I'm actually going to go for Drain here. Yeah, that's in range of Mewtwo. So we definitely take, and I get a nasty, well, I get a nasty crit now, so that's definitely in range of Mewtwo now. Parting shot? Roar. Disgusting crit, especially if he gives me Mewtwo right now. Oh my god, that's amazing. That is like the Mon that wants to come out this turn. That is the Mon that wants to come out this turn. So because of that crit, Earth Power is a guarantee KO. Yeah, Life Orb Earth Power is really stupid. Yeah, it does 56 to 67 to max Spadef. Calm Incineroar. So we go right for Earth Power here. I don't know if this is a Mon he can actually switch into because it's Rayquaza and a few more. Aura Sphere is a little bit threatening, and if he goes Vow as well, I have the option. So weakening this Mon is really, again, good for my crown. Very good for my crown. So I don't regret going for the knock early. I just gotta be careful not to lose to Zama. That Mon's really good into me. Also very good for Gouging Fire. All right, this is a Life Orb Mewtwo. That is a dead Incineroar. Goodbye. Yeah, that crit mattered for sure. If he was max Spadef, Drain Punch, if he's max Spadef, Drain Punch does, well, it does 38 to 45 if he's max Spadef, right? At neutral, which I was. Yeah. So there's like, if I get min rolls on both, I don't knock out max Spadef and Incineroar. If Vow doesn't come out, I kill it. If Ray comes out, I Ice Beam it. If Ray's Scarf, it's a problem. That's Za. Huh. Okay, Za came out. This is another one I want to weaken. I Earth Power you. Always. That's Big Mewtwo showing off. Big Mewtwo showing off immediately. Holy crap. Heavy Slam. Does not kill. Do I want to save you, though? Because I'm worried about E-Speed a little bit. But not really, though. That's max attack. I think I go for the KO here with Psychic. Because if he switches, something dies. All right, Mewtwo picked up 2 KOs to start it off. And one of them was the other Uber. So I'm glad. Or one of the other Ubers, rather. So there's a few threats here coming out. If it's Rayquaza, I kind of have to decide what Mon's coming out now. In fact, I definitely have to decide what Mon's coming out now. I think I go in Nam always. Yeah, I always go in Nam. Always. I think he could go Thunderous, but if he goes Ray, this is best for me, obviously. Nemeris. Rayquaza. E-Speed. Because Banded Ray is a problem. These games are so fast. Yeah, Ban Ray can knock me out if it's adamant. So I think he'd go Ray. Or I would. Ban Ray does knock out me if he's adamant, so. It's a tough turn here. Tough turn. I don't know who that is. So there's Thunderous. All right. Scarf? Is it? I mean, I'm Moonblasting anyway. If it's Scarf, it's Scarf. Thunderous. Terra Blast, Fly. Does 74 to 88 if it's Scarf. And Volt Switch KOs me as well. But Crown looks even better, right? And whatever money goes out, Crown maxes up well into. So these are some games, man. Moonblast does a lot of damage too. Not a ton, but a lot. Actually does 63, 75. So he is Scarf. Gets a note. That's okay. I wasn't So this is Scarf. I gotta be really, really, really careful now. I gotta be really, really careful because I'm close to a win with Iron Crown. Iron Crown's Tachyon Cutter. Scarf Thunderbolt. Does not KO. He's gonna have to go Val. He's gonna have to go Val. And it's gonna be this is gonna be a close endgame. But we have the crown at 50, so this would be Val, right? This is Val, yep. He had to go Val. We knew he had to go Val. Is it booster? We do see booster energy, okay. No problem. What is it, speed? Yep. So we always gotta go Gouging Fire. So I can't DD. Always gotta go Gouging Fire there. Always, always, always. Gouging Fire does knock out Iron Valiant. These games are so funny, dude. Alright, we just Heat Crash. He can't kill me. Heat Crash picks up a KO on this. If he switches out, then my Iron Crown is faster. And this also means he can't Destiny Bond me. He is going for the Terra Blast Fly endgame, though. Like, for sure. Alright, there's the Destiny Bond, which we kind of expected there. Heat Crash. Picks up that KO. Okay, I get Destiny Bonded. I'm pretty sure he's probably Destiny Bond Encore, right? So... Ooh, this is a close game, man. Zarude into Rayquaza. This is a close game. This is a close game. Thunderous. It is super close. Holy crap. If he goes Thunderous here, he takes Rocks. It also kind of comes down to like if Ray is Rocks as well, like what the Ray specific set is, because Zarude's good. This is gonna be so close, dude. This is gonna be so close. Iron Crown. +1/+1. 60. It does knock out with a Calm Mind. It does knock out the Thunderbolting Thunderous. And it kind of comes down to what the Rayquaza is, I think, as well. Alright, so there's Thunderous. There's Thunderous. Zarude. Oh wow, I'm actually out of range of no, I'm not out of range of Thunderbolt. He needs a high roll. He's probably gonna get it, but he does need a high roll here to KO me with T-Bolt. 183. Actually, he needs literally a middle roll because it does 168, 179, 171. Terra Blast actually does pick up the it's a roll to KO him too because he probably has HP. So this is a roll right here against a roll. Let's see. It's a roll against a roll. That crit on Incineroar was so whack for him, man. These are really offensive games. I'm actually really excited. Dark Pulses. Oh! Okay. Wow. Okay, so I live... It does 52 to 61. I think I lose to Ray. Unless it's not E-Speed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I lose to Ray. Because, like... Wow, Dark Pulse is sick tech. Good for Mewtwo as well. Because I don't knock out Ray unless... I don't knock out Ray unless I'm Calm Mind boosted. So I literally have to Calm Mind here anyway. Oh my God, I'm faster. Yo! Yo! I went max speed for a reason. I went max speed for a reason. Bruh. Oh my God. Okay. I literally went max speed. That's so freaking funny. Dark Pulse. +2. That do 100. Am I going to be out of Rayquaza's Choice Band Extreme Speed, though, is the question. It will be a roll as well. But how much does Store Power do? No, I literally have to Calm Mind. I literally have to Calm Mind again. And I have to Calm Mind again, because that's the only way I knock out Rayquaza. There's the only way I knock out Ray. Don't crit me. Come on, Iron Crown, baby. 84. Adamant Choice Band can knock me out on a roll. Jolly Choice Band cannot knock me out. All right, we store power here. Oh my God, the power of going max. So the reason I went max speed is because I want the speed boost, but I also want the most special attack. Bruh. So it comes down to, is Shenron Choice Band or is it Boots? Okay, it's not Boots. Is it Banded? Is it Banded or is it Assault Vest? What is it set? If it's not Banded, we win. Barely. If it is Banded, it's a roll. If it's Scarf, we're faster. What is it? What are you? What are you? Oh, it wasn't Banded! And we live Iron Crown supremacy and we pick up the KO and Crown brings it back from the back. Let's go. We get our first win. LA Wakers on the board, baby. LA, wait, so he was modest, Thunderous. That makes sense as well. Or he just didn't have enough speed. Crazy game one into Vepsis. Just throwing out a bunch of Pokemon. Back and forth, back and forth. Insane crit on Incineroar, though. Definitely mattered. If he was not max speed up, though, Mewtwo always KOs it. And it's a roll if not. So it definitely mattered in that sense. But crazy. Ubers is fun, man. Just a bunch of hitting. I do think Vepsis also had one of them teams where it's just like attack. I want to give a big shout to Gliscor. The Spikes helped deal with Zama. The Rocks dealt with Ray, Thunderous, Val, everything. So Gliscor, low-key lead MVP. Crazy game to start off with. I'm going to hit up Vepsis if he's down to do an interview. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. That's it. Peace. Welcome to the interview for week one of the BBL. I am here with Vepsis. Vepsis, talk to the people, bro.
Yeah, what's up? It was a lot closer, and even though I lost, I can say that after our PBL game, this game felt obviously a lot more tighter, and it was a really game down to literally just, I think, like, when I sat down there and I said this at the end of the recording from my side, I literally looked back and I said, I don't think playing-wise I could have really done anything different. Which is still, like, even in a loss, it felt much better about all these things considered, and it literally just came down to probably, like, choice of item on the Iron Crown booster speed instead of, like, weakness, policy, agility, or whichever that you may have considered. And for my Rayquaza side, it came down to, like, being potentially banded or Lightfall, which may have given me the chance to pick me off from there, but that's, like, literally the small details in prep that end up being the difference, which, you know, you cannot cover everything. So I feel like in a big scheme of things, that really was a great game, and there wasn't really much playing wise. I feel like for my behalf, at least, I couldn't really.
I agree. It was literally a slaughter fest, back and forth. You got literally the best roar for me, by the way. Because when I
Yeah,
saw
that's true.
when I saw crit damage
yeah,
on
right.
Incineroar, I was like, wait, this is Fizz Def. This dies, like, even without crit. This thing dies. Because Earth Power
Yeah.
from Life Orb Mewtwo to max does 56 to 65. I was like, yeah, dude, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, originally I was going to be Boots, but I ended up going Life Orb because this one's kind of stupid. Like, I don't know how your
No,
mocks have
yeah,
been going into Mewtwo, but Mewtwo's kind of stupid.
No, but it's literally been like, I'll say this much. I don't know if I ever said it in the BBL server as the chat went along or whatnot, but literally, if I had a freedom of choice of picking any Pokemon on the table and I was the first pick, it would have been Mewtwo.
Yeah.
Not because it's like obviously super broken or anything, but I'm just, similar to you, I played Pokemon since Gen 1. It's my favorite legendary. And this is the first time I had to prep for it. I'm like, holy crap, there's so much I had to cover for, and if you're just purely offensive life offset, I'm like, I have nothing for this. I have to just find a way to kill it before it kills everything on my team. Like,
I love your techs though. I think your techs were really good for it, right? You have the Encore Vow with Destiny Bond, so even if I randomly click Recover, you Encore it.
Yeah.
E-Speed on Rayquaza obviously is good. Offensive Zama actually makes a big difference there because Mewtwo would have lived otherwise.
yeah.
And so like almost max attack Zama makes a big difference there as well. I love the Encore. I love all your options that you did. And Scarf Thunderous was really cool. Caught me off guard for sure in this game. I saw it take rocks first and I was like, don't mean anything from that. Thank you. Please, don't. Even though my Pokemon was like, is it Scarf? Because I mean, once I got rid of, I terrored Zarude early because I didn't have knockoff, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think Terra Ghost made the most sense to your team. You probably knew I'd be Terra Ghost as well. Like,
yeah, no, it was like, there were like probably 2 Terra types that I'm like, it's probably gonna be these 2. It's gonna be most likely Terra Ghost because it provides you the E-Speed immunity and obviously like a fighting immunity versus Sama. And the only other one that I think is more genuine thing about my own draft as well is Poison.
yeah, Poison.
Like that just defensively covers like 2 of my 3 high tier picks pretty well. So it's like, that's just gonna, I don't know how much it's gonna be like this end game story for all of my games this season, how much I'm gonna be seeing those particular Terra types, but going to this, like I had 6 different people that gave me a mock and majority of them were Ghost. And I wanna mention somebody called Cherry Man Cake.
Did you bring Avalon?
He was the last one that gave me a mock, and he used Zarude a lot with Open Terra. And that was also another thing when I came into this game. Like, I've obviously heard a lot about Zarude being an amazing Terra through Showdown scene, and we saw a glimpse of it even with one Terra type when Jack used it in PPL this past season. But this was literally like the first time that I'm like throwing the wolves and facing it 1v1. I'm like, okay, what is this thing gonna do to me? Like, I had to worry about bulk upset. I had to worry about even having an option to run a trailblaze on its set and finding a turn to do for that. So, like, there were a lot of things that I had to even worry about, even Zarude in this matchup. But like, answering the question, like, Ghost definitely made the most sense into me for sure.
I was really debating Avalog into you too for week 1. Because I'm like, dude, it's actually pretty good here. Amo used a Flash Cannon Zalmazenta versus me. I was like, get out of here. Get out of here with this. No way he's going to bring the Zana can't touch Mewtwo. Go away. But it's Amo. And honestly, Amo's thoughts are usually on prep with it. I love the Draco Meteor Rayquaza for burning Bulwark as well as hitting Avalok, which I think is really smart. And yeah, just Scarf Thunderous was really cool prep. Speaking of like little changes, how you're talking about like modest Thunderous. I was initially way slower with this Iron Crown. I was really bulky. I was way slower. And then I got a little bit scared of Swords Dance Life Orb Ray, which is also why my Gliscor, which originally had Bulldoze, changed to Rock Tomb. So, because if you SD turn 1 and then I get up Hazards or you turn out, or if I get up Rocks in front of it, you SD again, you kind of kill everything on my team. Or it can.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I need to at least make my Iron Crown faster than Rayquaza. And then in order to do that, I would have to make it weaker because if I go 317, that means I have to go 316 special attack. So we ended up just going max speed to have the most possible damage out. And obviously this is just, this is one of the many cases where creep on something has helped and hurt. Which was, the modest damage is still insane from Thunderous Theory, so I understand why you have it.
Yeah, and it was mostly like the thing was with Thunderous is that I was kind of like expecting a couple of things to be always outpacing me and kind of accepting that reality and having a different ways dealing with them. One was like potentially Choice Scarf Ina, which besides the Chilamberry that you end up being, those were the two likely items. I'm like, okay, so you're gonna be one of these two versus me, and I just have to play according to it. And the other scenario where I thought that maybe Thunderous will end up getting outpaced is a scenario where Iron Crown of Armor turned to Agility. Because I was really thinking like if it's gonna come offensive, I'm thinking Agility, because then it ensures speed control pretty much over anything.
Yeah, and has special attack. Oh yeah, like an Agility, like Focus Blast, Tachyon.
Yeah, I was literally thinking like Agility, like 3 attacks. I'm like, it literally that was like big part of why Mesprit ended up having Encore. Like, yeah, it covers like Sarud or Scorching Fire to start setting up on me, but it was mainly the Iron Crown, because I'm like, I don't have much for it if it's Focus Blast, and I have to use Incineroar to off check it, because I needed Incineroar to deal with the Scorching Fire in a pinch.
Yeah.
I needed to deal with the Sarud in a pinch. Like I even packed a freaking Scary Face that I don't think I've ever run before in competitive play at all. But it was like really like funny niche to utilize it if I'm staring down like a Scorching Fire and Sarud. Let's say they are last one in the field and I cannot roll them out anymore. So I have to like start making sure that they are slower than my
team, and then
on. Or for example, like if I have my Valiant still around and I didn't like use it like I end up doing, which often happened in my mocks, that I try to revenge kill something, so that's 1 kill. You throw, I don't know, Scarf Enam or Bulky Primarina or Scorching Fire in front of it, then I Destiny Bond and go 2 for 1. So there was always a chance in my mocks and throughout the battle that I couldn't resort to Valiant to be around to Encore everything that I needed to, but of the chance it was there, like using Scary Face and Parting Shot together kinda allowed myself easier to come in, because ordinary it was like thinking like being Flare Blitz just to hit the Enam hard. I was thinking like EQ to hit the Scorching Fire harder.
Yeah.
But like for the most part the damage never from Incineroar really end up mattering. It had to just be a showstopper for any setup mon and allow just something else to come in freely to revenge kill them. So they were I just look at the Scary Face for my prep, I'm like, I really brought that too. Like Howl was another move, and I'm kinda like, I'm running Howl versus Joey week 1 for this, but like it actually helped on the Samacenta to be like offensive set, because I was like substituting Howl in a case of Vileplume coming. I wasn't like 100% sure if it comes versus Rayquaza matchup and whatnot, but
it's good into Val and it's good into Zoc because it can sleep, it can affect Spore, Rocky Helmet, Leech, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, like the whole thing was like I want to have a move to press in front of Vileplume without having to swap out, because the only swapping that I was okay, you know, taking any damage from Vileplume was gonna be Mesprit. But the way I was always gonna dedicate it to be a lead and expecting it to die first, I cannot bank on it being always there for Vileplume.
Yeah.
So I kinda had to have the option to have substitute on Samacenta, and then I think the attack investment was literally just to kill Mewtwo after rocks if it's offensive. And I think it also covered a base of like if I'm +2, I kill a defensive Vileplume. And I only risk like 1 turn of X4 instead of like 2.
2, yeah, makes sense.
Then I have way more chances to like get, you know, shenanigans done by status. And I think otherwise, like, I think it prep-wise it kind of looks pretty straightforward. I guess the only ones that like Rosary Berry was like for Enam to live after rocks. Or if I haven't taken Stealth Rocks, then I think after the Dragon Ascent I lived 1. And what else did I have here that I may have not meant? Well, that's pretty much it. And Safety Goggles was like literally my Smeargle prep, because I was also worried about like, oh man, he's gonna Smeargle me week 1 too. He'll throw like Webs turn 1 or whatnot.
Yeah, I see your speed tier right here too. Dude,
yeah.
Can I just say I love that you respected Vileplume, by the way? I feel like people... okay, they don't know my draft yet, right? Except for the ones that do know my draft from stream. And I feel like people are going to say stuff about that Mon, but I low-key think that Mon is pretty good into a lot of matchups. Like, I know I have Mewtwo and Gliscor and Gouge and Zarude and whatever. But, like, even you, like, the fact that you respected it enough to put Psychic on Val, which is very fair. Like...
Yeah, and it was the thing was with Val was that I wanted to have Psychic not only for Vileplume, but it was also like a better move to hit like Sarud, because I also end up seeing Poison few times to the point that I'm kind of like, okay, if I'm going to unco the Sarud, great, but what do I do after that? Like, I wanted to have a move that actually does meaningful damage, because it's like, either I'm going to have Moonblast for stab, and then I'm debating between like Shadow Ball for Crown or Psychic for the Poison type, either from Terra or Vileplume in general. And versus Crown, I didn't end up hacking coverage for Crown because one, I again feared the potential weakness policy being procced at any point. And realistically, in front of Crown, I wanted to bank on the fact that you're gonna either attack me, and I press Destiny Pawn, and I trade it off, and I'll be fine with that, because similar to PPL Week 1, I'm coming with Flying Spam. I don't know what's with me now, Flying Spam in Week 1, and that's like my thing now, but that kind of turned out to be the case, and that was like your main Flying Resist.
Yeah, no, it makes a ton of sense. Honestly, I never saw Dark Pulse on Thunderous at all. I always saw Terrafly. Yeah. Everybody used Terrafly. Terrafly's too good into me. Yeah. Right? But I never saw Dark Pulse, which was really cool. I always saw Nasty Ball Agility. I saw Agility Taunt to attack, which was also really cool. So Dark Pulse was a really cool attack that I'm actually going to start respecting a little bit more, I think, as well, going forward.
Yeah.
I'm...
I think like if I wasn't like a Scarf, like that's like one of the things that I'm kind of happy having Thundy on my draft. Like besides Mesprit, it can function as a really good like offensively. Like I can have a fast hunt for slower things, prevent any kind of hazards to go up, and then I have just really strong stabs and covers to be pressing on with it. But like on this week particularly, I felt like having Choice Scarf as a winning condition, besides like Rayquaza C speed, it was kind of like how I wanted to go about it. Because like the other thing like going versus you was that as much as I love the idea of running agility on it, it was also kind of like, where do I ever set up on? Like, look at your top end of the draft. Everything is almost killing me right from the get-go. Like, I needed basically like screen support to make it feasible. Without the screens, I never set up almost on anything. So that's why kind of like having that immediate speed on the hump was like more consistent. At least it felt like to me, especially because I didn't end up bringing like left key for screens or whichever.
Yeah, that was kind of like the mon that I was trying to like overwhelm as well, because I'm like, okay, if Clef Key paralyzes Mewtwo, Crown, or Gouging Fire, it doesn't get the other. You know what I mean? Like it can only take one, which is why when I didn't see it, I was like, you know what? I respect him not bringing keys because he probably acknowledges the same thing. It ends up giving him one thing, maybe a Spike. Spike's cool, but it ends up it's not like a Spike and Brox put Gouging Fire in range of Moonblast. Like from Val, etc., etc. So it's like, I understand why you brought these 6. I love this Incineroar, by the way. The first 3 moves, this Eevee spread is what I used, I think, every week of the P4G. Literally every week, knock off Parting Shot, Roar, and then if you want to bring a fire move, Temper Flare Blitz, whatever. Literally every week. There were some weeks where I brought U-Turn as well and Parting Shot, depending on the thing. This is literally how you use Incineroar, in my opinion, in draft. Like, even when offensive looks good, it always just turns out to be the better pivot. I love your defensive core on your team, too. I think your team is super nasty, dude. Like, especially your placement as well. What were you, 5th? 6th?
No, I was 7th. I was in the 7th in the draft. And honestly, I think the fact that... I think the biggest, like... where I really realized that, okay, I can actually make something good around here was the round 2 when I got Valiant.
When you got Val.
Because I kind of understand why it fell to me, because I'm thinking like the lower end of the draft, they're going to draft their 2 Ubers while they can, because that's how they make up for the fact that they don't have the like high-end pick like we did. And the ones that don't end up like prioritizing their second Uber just yet, or decide not to take one in general, they're going to be looking at the high-tier Terras and be like, alright, what is the best thing available here? And that's just had a ripple effect benefiting me, sitting there at the 7th slot, and I can just look at like, oh, there's I have Iron Valiant in front of me. I might as well take it then. So
for those that don't know, he got this Iron Valiant, I think 33rd pick. 33rd pick. Because there's 20 people, right? So it goes up and down. He's 7, so up to 33rd, whatever, around there, 32, 33. You actually sniped me too. I was staring at thing. I mean, it's Val, so I expected. I was staring at him like, okay, I know everybody near me. I might actually get Iron Valiant. It just comes down to Vepsis. But I was also always debating between Val plus an Amorous because, like, okay, what do I want? Do I want Broken Mon in draft, or do I want Healing Wish for Broken Mons in draft? And so you made my decision easier, right? By taking them on. And then you took Muck, which was something I wanted to. But then I got back on Bopplume. So I was getting sniped by number 7 the entire time. But I think your team just turned out so sick, dude. I love your Terra Captains.
Yeah.
I actually thought Rhydon might even come to this game. Similar role to Incineroar, by the way. Like, similar role to Incineroar. Rock's Roar. Just as thing.
Yeah, Rhydon had definitely an option to come. I don't think I had... that's kind of like the blessing and a curse with my draft right now, and we'll see how I feel. Like, I really love my draft. I think, bias aside being my own draft, I can see it being on the topper end of the league.
I agree.
Like, I don't know if it's gonna be like declared as the best one, because there's gonna be also like a debate in itself. Like, at the time of recording, you haven't done the stream and, you know, analyzed the drafts or whatnot, but I can see this being an argument for, you know, future us. But people already probably seeing it is that, like, are you gonna value of trying to amp up your roster with high tier mons and make it top end of the draft, and therefore like raise the bar on the quality of mons you bring? Or do you take the path like I end up doing, where is that I have 3 really strong mons that are always gonna be brought, like the top 3 that I drafted first 3 rounds. Yeah, and then I have 2 pretty solid Terra Captains. I don't think I have like a top Terra Captain in DT when it comes to like top 5 or anything, but it's pretty good still. I'm actually really excited to use it still. And then Rhydon gives me that secondary Terra Captain that will end up having matchups where it's gonna be really good, like a tanky Terra that it can.
You just made it better. You literally just made Rhydon better. Yeah, you literally made Rhydon better. Like, that's it. Rhydon really good. Eviolite good. Like, it's crazy. I was calculating life for Mewtwo versus that mon. Like, why is this taking 45? Type thing. No, but I agree with you. I think your top 3 are insane, right? And obviously, you guys know his top 3. They're right there in his build. They're Rayquaza, Iron Valley, and Zamazenta. And I think if I had to rate Thundurus, right, top 5 Terras, in my opinion, Zarude's up there. Tornadus Therian, obviously. Ogerpon, as well as their Raging Bolt and Ogerpon. Those are, like, in my opinion, the top 5. So the 2 Ogerpons, I think there's a second Ogerpon in this. The grass one, and I think the grass and water are both.
Yeah, the water one is also there. The water one is definitely up there too. Yeah.
So I think grass is also a top tone as well, just because of the same thing. It's basically your Valiant speed booster with Encore. So, like, I think those are top 5 in my opinion. And I put Thundurus literally like right under. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, like the regular Ogerpon, the grass one, I think the main selling point is that it's a very good enabler, and fast Encore will end up being clutch in a lot of cases. Like, its stabs will not be maybe as impressive right from the get-go, because so many Ubers are going to be Dragon.
Yeah.
But it's a really good, like, a facilitator to Encore something and you turn out and give something else a better opportunity. Like, if you can pair it with the right support to break, like, fat flying types or Dragon types or whatever it end up being the case that people try to deal with the Ogerpon, then it's like, it's amazing to have. Like, speed control in Gen 9 is so crucial.
No, agreed.
And it's like, it's like one of the best in it. Like, I think for me, I haven't had the really chance and time to like play in highly competitive, like, showdown tournaments like 8-1 rosters, where we have seen more of these high tier open Terra mons to be used. So they have a little bit way more experience of facing them and using them, and it's gonna be first time me being introduced to them. But I definitely agree, those being the top 5 that I've heard and, you know, talked about with other people who are involved with it. Like Addison, for example, like, I keep following and watching how she's doing and talk to her with about all these things. And I think from there I would say like Taunt is probably the best Terra, and easily. It honestly might be a tie, and then it's literally pick and choose between Zarude and Raging Bolt.
Yep, I agree with you completely. I legitimately agree with you completely.
Yeah, and then it's like after that it's literally then the water and grass Ogerpon. I'm not sure if I have a preference yet on the 2, but they are definitely like
I like grass for what you said, the enabler.
Yeah,
and I mean, it's on Amol's team, who is such a great builder, right? So I think that's going to be sick with that. And then if I had to go more, right, I'd put you and I'd put Nexus Salamence right before you. Just because I think Moxie and Offensive Dragon stab natural is really, really strong here. And he also has like Magirna and stuff like to enable it too. But then I think Thunderous is there as well. And I think the rest, I would have to like go through them all specifically, but I would put those as like top 7 in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that. I think Salamence with the Terra particularly because it's like in a standard draft, Salamence might be like caught up a little bit of like seen as a little too slow, which is weird to stay from a base 100, but in Ubers that speed tier has a different value because it happens to outpace a lot of like, for example, my Rayquaza, it's just above it. So like it's able to already be able to offensively check more of like things that are meaningful, which are the, you know, dragons that are right below base 100, and the fact that you can mold obviously Terra type based on the matchup and support it properly with like Magirna, whether with screens or whatnot. I remember Nexus has like Yuxi on the roster, Tinglu, like Nexus has a lot of like cool, like there's a lot of like cool tools that definitely Nexus has for that Salamence that I can see already based along the Mon, I can see being it up there, but I think more importantly Nexus, who has the Salamence, like he has definitely the tools to like optimize it really well. Whereas for me, like I think Thunderous also kind of has the same thing, but it has it doesn't have the Moxie ability to start snowballing. I have a useful like immunity with Volt Absorb through the Terralization regardless, so I keep electric immunity, which is more a defensive plus, depending on what Terra type I do.
That's what I'm like excited about, by the way, because I've used Thunderous a lot in draft. It is one of my favorite. Thunderous Therian specifically is one of my favorite Thunderous, and I always, because it's so strong naturally, I've always been able to use, you know, like Assault Vest to take on Iron Bundles, Ice Beams, etc., etc. But in this one, where we're playing in Uber's League, you do need the extra power, and I'm excited to see how it shines offensively. Oh, I forgot Iron Boulder too. I think that's a really cool Terra Cap as well.
Iron Boulder, yeah, is another one too. I feel like that has out of every Pokemon that we listed, that one has the biggest glow up by getting access to Terra Low. That thing goes right from 0 to 100 when it's past the up.
Agreed 100% with you. But yeah, I'm excited to see what you do with Thunderous, and I'm also excited in general about your draft. Because this is week 1, we haven't even done the draft analysis and everything, right, guys? We're playing these so early, and thank you so much for waiting as well to play me. I
it literally how the way the people end up playing, it was like perfect amount of time to me to take a breather, because like obviously I knew that we were going to play while you still had your playoffs going on, but I didn't really feel like I had that much of a head start of like prepping wise. I may have like had a couple of days,
but it wasn't a lot. No, I understand.
Yeah, like I had a couple of days of head start before you mentioned that, hey, would it be cool to play this upcoming Sunday? I believe right like week before. So it was like a perfect amount of time for me to have a small reset, because as much as I love playing in draft right now, and I feel like it's a blessing and a curse that I'm coming, because I was going to try to remember to ask, like, how many leagues have you guys been, like, starting from yourself and the group that you bring along? Like, how many seasons have you played already, Gen 9?
All right. BBR, PPL, SPL 1 and 2, P4G, and PPL. Yeah, that's 6 in a row. Yeah, so, like, in that sense, because I had a little bit of, like, I guess I call it a hiatus, because I played throughout the Generation 8, and I started playing Wi-Fi end of Generation 7, which also happened to be Ubers where I started. And then throughout the Generation 8, I played pretty much start to finish. But in Generation 9, I actually was taking a break from Wi-Fi scene-wise for like at least a year. So I feel like majority of the people that I've got to play now, including yourself, I feel like I'm like 3 leagues behind. So I feel like a lot of coaches are starting to get into their like mid-generation form, and they start realizing who they are as a player, what they're comfortable with to play this gen. I'm still kind of like trying to get there, and it's in a blessing, because I feel like I'm not as burned out as maybe some feel like who have done it consistently throughout this gen. So I feel like I have energy and urge to learn and play and keep improving and whatnot. And but then there's the other side of the coin, which is so cool.
Yeah, no, this draft like really feels like, oh my god, I have so many things that I never used before. We just, jokingly say that I'm the regen guy from PPL. I don't think I've drafted Alamola more than like literally once in a showdown league this gen. Before then, I barely ever, like, never touched on it. And like a lot of mods that on my roster, I think outside of like Thundy that I used, because I agree with you, like Thundy being probably like out of the Gen 5 like Genie Mons. It's probably my favorite to use, and design-wise, I think it's really cool. But I only used it like Gen 6 a lot, and then there was a huge break when I did not even drafting it for unknown reasons. I guess I wanted to draft something different, but like the roster feels like really refreshing and new, and I feel like I have a lot of tools to work with, and now it's just a matter of like me coming up with the right concept each week and try to execute it properly. Like it's mostly a challenge for me to also to bring the most out of this roster, because I feel like I have a lot of tools in it, and the only thing that I would debate on that, should I make it more top heavy or not throughout the season, similar to you and Shaco King, who on top of my head besides Nexus, I would say like for me personally I would rank up there in top 3 if I'm not including my own at all. So like that's the only like thing that I'm gonna be like learning in practice when I'm using this team. That do I need to like like do I want to like work on the edges and try to make it more top heavy to raise the quality of mons on my roster, or is it fine as it is as I'm using it? But like I'm really excited to use it because I feel like again I can do so many things with it besides being the top 3. But like even the top 3, especially Rayquaza, feels like there's so many things
you can do anything with that mon, bro.
Like I think the thing also was challenging for me, because I'll say this much, that when I drafted it, I tried to check on Google that has anybody used this in even Smoke on Ubers, like, and uploaded it. And literally the only video that I really came across was your video from Gen 7. And I remember briefly seeing even the thumbnail, like, oh, I remember seeing this thumbnail back then. But that may have been the only one, and it was so funny when I watched some of those games from that video. It went back to the focus asset that you told me during the draft, like, oh, you don't need another stealth rocker. You have Rayquaza with focus asset. I'm like, I'm not running so you got focus asset every week with my. This is Rayquaza. This is my Uber. I'm not running it focus asset every week. But like, it is like literally a legitimate set that I could look to refunction. And honestly, like when you talked about it as a lead SD set, I was like, you know what? It could have been a pretty good focus as lead versus you, and would have been really funny after that conversation.
Yeah, it's literally what I thought as well. People use that into me.
Yeah. It's super excited for this season in general, and I tried to mention this to Okalpina and to my own videos. Like I'm super grateful that I'm in this, cause at first there was going to be somebody else instead of me that was going to play, and for me it was gonna be like I was going to play another Wi-Fi league, and I'm still gonna be playing in that, which I upload on Saturdays.
Oh,
pretty much.
2 at once, bro! You're a demon.
Yeah. That I don't usually almost ever do that, but that league happens to have a lot of the coaches from PPL, and it also happens to have, I think you recognize like Aster J and RBC6 for the hacks.
Yeah,
that's the names.
Of course.
So. They are gonna be also in the league in itself, and for me that other league that I'm gonna be having, I'm gonna just, because I might as well like be the closing words for myself. Last time I used it for the person who makes my thumbnails, Butters, who by the way will still be making thumbnails for me this season, and obviously she will be linked in all of my videos, and anybody that does draft league content or any kind of Pokemon related content, I know she can do a fantastic job, and I already recommended her to a couple of people who have asked about it in DMs who they are. But I'm just gonna give you a brief idea, because by the time that this goes live, the draft analysis for this other league that I'm playing in should be also gone live.
Ooh.
And it's gonna be literally me doing a practice session of playing and drafting with offense, and it happens to be a Sun team too. So I just DM it to you what I drafted.
Okay, you said
there.
This one's gonna be live before, right?
Yeah, this should be like this. The draft analysis, I believe, for this league literally goes on the same day or similar weekend as we're gonna be uploading.
Okay,
for this
yeah, because
league too. So this should be already up.
Okay, because we can upload this one this Saturday coming up or Sunday. The reason Saturday is because I'm going to Singapore on Sunday. So can I show this on the screen or?
Yeah. You can literally like this is like I guess a little promotion for my behalf for anybody that haven't.
The Sun team looks nasty.
Yeah, so that's kind of like my little promotion. Cause I literally I'm like a balanced player at heart when I first started playing Draft League, but obviously Gen 9 has thrown a curve on playing that way. So this is gonna be me drafting with something that I haven't done before at all, which is playing with the Sun team and Weather team in general. And like try to be using like a really offensive team, and also like for this league, I'm obviously taking a lot more casual because I want to have my focus and attention to this Ubers league because I want to do well and use this team and spend time on it with it. This one is going to be like, all right, what are the funny buttons here that are going to do billion damage to my opponent? Cool, let's put that on the team and go and just play a game and record it for my channel.
No, I like it. You got Healing Wish support as well. Were you picked like 4 or 5 in this? 6?
Let me check. I actually don't remember on top of my head. I think I was 1, 2. I was 8th pick.
Wow. I'm actually a little surprised Great Test came to you.
Yeah, I was surprised too. I wasn't like honestly expecting to fall into me, and I'm probably one of the like I don't know how often people have already had chance to draft it at least once in this generation, but I never had the chance because I'm usually I think the 7th pick in this draft may have been the highest that I had in this generation. Damn. So I don't usually even have the option to pick Great Tusk because it's obviously gonna go before it. But when it was there, I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna draft the Great Tusk and see if there's some like abuser in round 2 that I'm interested at, and then they started to be available, and I said, well, let's roll with it. Let's try what I can do with the Sun.
No, I love your team. I'm actually a big Electros fan as well. I've used it in draft, but no, I'm just a big, like way back in the day. But I'm a big Electros fan. I'm a big Eel fan in general.
Yeah.
And you got Walking Wake with Terra. See, so earlier in the generation, it felt fraudy, but now it has access to flip turn knockoff as well. So I think it's a lot better. It's not just, I mean, on this one, it can just be a machine that just clicks. But it definitely felt a little, like it was scary when I played it in mocks, but it wasn't scary whenever I battled it in the actual game. So I'm excited to see you do it.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, because I feel like when I started first facing it, when it was first introduced, I'm like, okay, you know, prep-wise, it seemed like a demon to deal with on the Sun and whatnot, but like, it was very... For whatever reason it is, maybe it was because it didn't have the options that you said. It just felt like it had a hard time to really putting in the work in practice, like actually, you know, seeing when it's been used, like actually have a huge impact. Like it's gonna always probably force a kill, but usually people got away with like, you know, allowing it at most go 2 and 1. And then it's not like the super broken thing that it seemed like at first glance to be. But like with Konokov, obviously it allows it to kind of cripple any, you know, defensive swappings that they may have, either Assault Vest or whichever thing they might be carrying, and with, you know, Open Terra, it becomes a whole different beast, like a lot of things do.
No, I'm actually excited to see it used on Sun. This is so cool, dude. I'm a big fan of the team. I'm thinking about it now. Actually, while I still have you here, are you putting Thunders in your thumbnail? Do you think you'll put Thunders in your thumbnail? Or... Well, it's drawn. Your Thunders are drawn. It's different.
Yeah, it is like the funny thing is when my, you know, graphics maker, good friend of mine, like she literally draws all of this, and I showed her my draft, and she's like, "Why you drafted all of these Pokemon? This is gonna take forever for me to draw any of this and stuff."
Yeah, they're complicated monsters.
This is the Ubers League. This is kind of how it's gonna be. And then I started showing her who I'm gonna be playing this Sketcher and whatnot, and what other Pokemon she may end up putting there if it's not my own. And she was like, "Oh, please just make like, I don't know, Mesprit like shine to the moon," and so I can just keep going that thing.
So I'm asking that because like I want to put MEWTWO'S debut for the first one, right? Because I mean, it got 2 kills. It technically got 2 kills. It got 3 if you count itself, right? So like, it got 2 kills. But obviously, Crown. I don't want to put Crown because I don't want to spoil the end game, right? Because at that point, I didn't think I win. I was like, okay, it has to either be non-E speed or the slowest roll possible, like. So I don't want to put Crown because I think Crown is sick and Crown can do a lot more as well in this. So that's what I was asking. I was like, "Are you gonna? You're probably not putting Saw, right?" Like,
I'm gonna be honest. I already had this conversation with her before our game even happened. Because while you're going into Singapore, she's actually going to be flying into US. I think on the election day. To visit her boyfriend, because this is usually always the time of the year that she visits there, because it's around the time of his or her boyfriend's birthday. So they have this tradition to fly to other countries on those days, and then next year around spring, I'm expecting it to go other way around, and I'm planning to go into Netherlands to actually see both of them and have a little meet up there. But basically, I was already talking with her about this thumbnail and kind of giving a general idea, like a timetable for her, like how are you able to draw these while you're there, and we probably gonna. I don't know if she had chance to work on it yet, but we already kind of pre-agreed on Mewtwo, but I don't think she's drawn anything yet. Because I was kind of thinking, like, obviously you're gonna bring Mewtwo week 1. It's probably gonna get a kill. I cannot prevent that, so it's gonna do something for certain. So it was always gonna be a fail-safe, regardless of what happens in the battle, for her to draw if she needed time to do something beforehand. But I think she's gonna be doing that in a couple of days. Now, this being like a Sunday, she might be drawing it on this upcoming Tuesday for me and have it done before she flies. So, haven't decided on it yet. It might end up being Thunderous. If you're gonna put Mewtwo on it, I probably won't do the same as well, just to put a different thing on it. So it could end up being Thunderous.
You could have them like facing down, but like you said, like facing each other down. But like you said, that's a lot. Like even something that I tell Skarzig, hey, can you make this, this, and this, but make this mon look like it's juggling while doing it? And he'll do it. And I'll be like, wow, artists are like they're like my imagination. Like the stuff they do is crazy.
Yeah, the thing is, like thankfully, the friend of mine that does this stuff for me, she also has a degree for this kind of stuff. Like, she could literally like apply for almost anybody's YouTube channel and draw any kind of thumbnail, or, you know, that kind of stuff for them. Like, she's very talented with this stuff, and it's like every time I look at whatever she does, like I literally like. I think the best example I could think of was like the week 2 versus Rome, when I had the red card Diancie. I literally only told her that just draw a Diancie holding a red card. And she just, obviously being in Netherlands where soccer in American terms is a big deal, she just come up with the concept that, like, okay, it's gonna be obviously a referee holding a red card and there's a huge soccer field behind it. I'm like, oh my god, you literally just made it great. I don't know how you keep doing this. So it's honestly like mind-blowing, like whoever have these tools and skill set to do these thumbnails, what they can do, which by us giving them almost bare minimum information.
Yes. Like I'll give like Skarzig like an anime suggestion maybe, but like,
yeah,
the stuff he does is insane. You'll see my descriptions for him are usually like crazy, insane, glowing eyes, do what you can, whatever. It's nice to have awesome people you can trust and work with.
Yeah, it is a huge help, because for myself, for the longest of time, it was kind of like a case I tried to do it myself, but I don't have the capability. Like, I have a Photoshop, but it's been at least 12 years since I was like taught to how to use basics in high school or like college and whatnot. So it's been literally forever for me to even do any of that stuff, and like I don't use it for my work. So it's kind of like, well, I need somebody's help for this, and for a good while, Addison was helping with that. While she took a step for Wi-Fi, she hasn't really done obviously any of the thumbnail stuff for myself, or she might still do them for herself still, but for the most part I only had her to rely on. But as I joined the BBL last season, and knowing that you're gonna be in it and there's gonna be more people watching my channel, it was kind of like, alright, I'm gonna ask my friend who I know can really do this. I'm gonna hope that she has the time to do this, and I'm gonna pay according to that for her efforts. And I literally could not be happier how she's done it. And I only hope that my channel, even how small it is gonna be a jumping board for more opportunities to do this kind of stuff.
And obviously, I'll link them down below as well.
Yeah.
Let me actually show your channel real quick so people can see the thumbnails that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Ooh, Zama.
Because I know she's also like trying to like apply for a few potential openings for, like, I don't know where she's been googling. I'm sure there's a website and sources to like look for these things when content creators are looking for somebody to help with this kind of stuff. I know she's been looking into it and try to apply, and then she's used my channel and mentioned the ones that she has made from a certain period of time, and my channel is being like a small jumping board for her, which I'm really happy about, because I really hope that it does give something for her, and it's a mutual benefit. Because like for me, I get better quality of videos while there are more people watching my videos thanks to you and whoever are doing the watch alongs. And for her, it's obviously a jumping board to have something that she can make a small profit on the side besides her own job that she does already on a regular basis.
Speaking of,
So, I know
sub to Vepsis.
whatever.
I'm showing them, by the way. I'm showing them all her art. Sub to Vepsis so he gets to 1,000 subs, guys. Please. Sub to Vepsis. But yeah, keep going. Sorry. I was just thinking that. I was like, wow.
No, it's mostly like it's mostly like whenever I know like whatever money I'll pay for her, I know it usually does go into a good place because like I said, she's going to visit US very soon, and I know she's been talking about she's trying to save money for that trip. So I know whatever I paid for thus for PPL and what I'm gonna be paying her gradually now for making these, they're all going into good place from her side. So it feels like there's nothing like wrong about like paying for somebody that you kind of like get familiar with by looking for a thumbnail maker for yourself, and you get to know them as a person as you work with them. But for me on a personal level, it just means a lot that I can ask for somebody that I've known for years from draft and met in person already a few times, and knowing that whatever I pay for them is gonna go into a good place and into a need. And again, just being a jumping board for her future as well in that regard, and just feels like it's just a very good work relationship along with a friend.
Yeah,
with that stuff.
I feel the same way with Pedro and Skarzig, like legit, and Xenon.
Yeah,
like etc. It's crazy what you can do to help other people, and all, y'all come together and help each other out. I love the arts, by the way. I've just been kind of looking at it on the stream. Guys, get him to 100 subs. I'll leave her link as well down below.
Yeah, she has the. Well, I always leave her like Discord info that you can get a contact with her. I hopefully get her to join the BBL fan server as well, which hopefully all of you who are watching are in it. I try to usually like ask her to join there because in that case people are looking for her, it's easy to find it in the fan server in itself.
I didn't even know we had a fan server, so I will definitely
share stuff. Yeah, and then there is also her Twitter link as well in case you don't use Discord or find it easier to contact on Twitter. She will also have the Twitter info on my descriptions as well.
Yeah, so please check her out, guys, and please check out Vepsis as well. He's so close to 1,000 subs. I'll definitely have something in my intro as well to hopefully push.
Yeah,
I think you deserve it, dude. You make good content. You battle well. It's really fun.
Yeah, like I think the biggest compliment that I usually and how if I were to promote like what I can provide, I may not be like the Nexus of all. Like Nexus is a very unique personality and very entertaining, and I know you all always want to watch his side of the things right from the get-go in the watch along. I'm not necessarily a guy like him. It's tough to be like as entertaining as he can be, just naturally by who he is. But like the biggest attribute that I know Addison has utilized for whenever people approach her and like ask for how can I improve in playing wise. She is like a great person to always approach to ask for team building aspect because she's great at it. But then when people start to approach her and ask you like, well, playing wise, how can I improve on that? The two people that she always mentions quickly to go check out is like myself, which I'm grateful for.
Hell yeah.
Because I tend to try to, even though English is not my first language, I try to always explain as well as I can my thought progress out loud on the video and say like, this is what I think should be doing because of X or Y. Thinking turn ahead of time what I need to win the game.
Oh, you kind of you cut out here, bro. Wait, you're
Oh.
lagging a little bit. 1 second.
It's kind of.
All right, he cut out for a sec, but keep going. Sorry, you were talking about how she suggests you in a battler, and you're talking about your
it was
thought process.
basically like. Yeah, like basically like if there was a way that like I can promote myself, what kind of content creator I am, and if that's something that you're into, like, and what other people like Addison usually mentions me for other people that are trying to get better at the game. Something that I focus on doing is that while English is not my first language, is that I try to always my commentary in a way of like, why am I making certain plays? Like, what do I need to do to win this game? What are the things that I should be doing? What I cannot be doing? And what I think my opponent is trying to do. For myself, this is kind of like my best way to like provide like analytical commentary in that sense that people can learn from. I do have like a dry humor that I try to every now and then include into my commentary wise, but like for the most part, I'm pretty locked in and focusing, like explaining my thought progress as clearly as possible to like people understand like what I'm doing, why am I doing it, and also try to understand from my opponent's perspective, like what could they be doing it, why are they doing certain things, or what kind of sets they can be. So from my perspective, that's kind of like, if you're into like that kind of like draft league content that you feel like you can learn from a lot from that, that's something that I'm, you know, best capable of doing, and that's what I try to focus on my content on in my battles. And Addison usually, like, if she's gonna mention 2 people usually from Wi-Fi scenes that aren't necessarily like well-known names, and like bigger names like yourself, are usually myself or Montai, that I think she usually comes across. And the big reason why she usually mentions myself in that kind of context is that I am able to, you know, provide a lot of value in it. And I get the people that do come across and end up watching my channel. That's usually the one that I get every now and then in Discord, even getting a DMs and saying that, hey, I've been watching your content for a while. I really like the way you know, explain yourself on your thought process. I feel like I'm learning a lot. And that means a lot to me when I do get to hear that, because that's kind of like what I'm thriving to be, and that's like what I watched over the years. I watched yourself, obviously, for a long time. I started watching Mega Mokwai back in the day. He was really good at, you know, providing that content. And I remember watching Chipseeking a lot in Gen 7. So like, maybe it's just because I've watched certain people that are very good at explaining their thought progress.
That's the style you
maybe
adapted,
that little
and
bit
it
have into me.
Yeah, it shows.
Yeah, so that's kind of like something that maybe that's also part of it. Is obviously who I am as a person, because like this is what I think I'm at best at, but it's also gonna influence that and showing that who I watch and why I watch them, because it's something that similar ways as people I recommend to watch me for that kind of stuff. I have been, and I still am that kind of person. Whenever like, I enjoy watching people that I feel like I can learn a lot from, because that's where I find it really interesting. Like Addison Wise, again, using her name again, she's somebody that I love watching, especially when she's able to show her team. I love watching your stuff, and like regards to draft league or even a standard play, because I feel like I learn a lot from it. And even Chipseeking, you know, and then even though he doesn't upload anymore, I sometimes watch his Gen 7 stuff, because I feel like every day I could learn more when I watch his stuff too. So
his BBL run was insane.
That's basically the pyramid.
His BBL run was insane. It's definitely something I watched as well.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, I think draft, but it seemed like he was always in control in Uber's format, and it was cool to see.
Yeah,
and I don't know if that was literally the last. Yeah, like he literally, like he had that period of time that I feel like every time he joined the league, he goes undefeated and he wants the entire thing. It's like, it's amazing how well he was able to perform back then. I don't know, actually, that may have been one of the latest seasons in BBL, because I know BBL as a Wi-Fi league took a major break. I don't know if it did the league that we are part of. I don't know when was the last time they had a season in Wi-Fi.
Gen 7. I don't know if there's any other after Gen 7, to be honest.
So it's like been a huge break for BBL to provide Wi-Fi content in that sense. In that sense too, it's been really cool to be part of here, because I remember back in the day I did end up watching this kind of stuff, because it was the best known for, you know, Uber's content in Wi-Fi scene, where you get to see this kind of stuff, and being this kind of influencer in a sense that it kind of makes people interested in trying drafting Ubers, and they get to see how it's done and how much different it's gonna be. So like, it's a cool experience to be part of it too now. And again, like big thank you for Galpina giving me the opportunity, because he could have literally picked anybody would have liked that slash, but it ended up being me, and I wasn't expecting it at the time, but I jumped on board on it, and super excited for this season still.
I'm glad he picked you as well, to be honest, dude. It's a pleasure to play again. I'm glad we were able to play again. I know the first time was you were feeling different after, but this one sounds good, and I'm excited to see what you do for the rest of the season as well. It's gonna be a good time, man. You have a crazy team, and I want to see the Zod get a sweep. Hopefully, not versus a rematch for me. not versus me.
Well, that obviously, selfishly, I would hope that too. But like, obviously, it's again super. Again, I could not emphasize like how excited it is, and it's gonna be refreshing, because it's also gonna be a new variety of format that everybody kind of has to learn more or less. Like I did Uber's format in Gen 8, but it already feels a lot different to do it in Gen 9. Everything is still so offensive. But now it's just like the fight, but it's like super exciting to see how these mons will do.
I'm excited. But yeah, guys, please check out Vepsis. Channel link is down below. Check out the artist as well. I'll link all that, her Discord and everything down below as well. And thank you for joining me, bro. I appreciate you. And we're going to call it that, guys.
Course.
We, I didn't realize the interview's 51 minutes.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that stop recording, right?
No, not yet. I'll stop right now. Peace, guys.